Hi, I'm David Dobiasic, the official voice of the best thriller books. I'm here to introduce the next episode of The Five Angry Men. Today the debate is, which is better, football or football? I'm actually glad I'm not in this video, as I would have embarrassed the boys with the correct answer. Aussie rules.
So, thanks for joining us. The best thriller books, Five Angry Men here. We're going to be discussing a vitally important topic to this group: football versus football. And so, as the resident expert on football, I will be heading this up and trying to keep people on track, which will be impossible with this group. But let's get it started, and let's start. Yeah, let's start with Miller and think why. Actually, we're gonna do this one way. We're gonna talk about why you personally think your sport is better, and then I've actually got two follow-up questions to discuss a little bit after this. So let's start with Miller. Why do you think your particular version of football is the best?
So let me. Really, my reasons why I think American football is better than football is because the football people are overpaid actors, right? I mean, I love the hitting, the gridiron, just the toughness, right? And then you see guys that get a finger poked in their chest and they fall down crying, holding their ankle, and they've just tore tendons and ligaments. So, yeah, I feel like American football shows true passion for what they do. I mean, these other guys are just running around in circles all day long kicking a ball. They don't really do anything for 90 minutes. And I just can't. I don't understand why they're doing what they do.
Sometimes the complexity of a game like soccer just is too much for some people.
Yeah,
no,
Chris,
but yes.
It's like 11-on-11 ping pong. It sucks.
Dude, at least they're running around for 90 minutes. Football, American football, they play 5 minutes over a course of 4 hours. Like, they're sitting there, they run a play and then they have to sit there and rest for 35 seconds. Like, what the hell is that?
That's because they're working hard. By a 300-pound lineman, you're gonna want to take a breather for a couple.
Please be an athlete, run for 90 minutes, then let's talk.
You know what? You look like Sunshine from Remember the Titans, Steve.
Now, come on, man, that's not fair. He was blonde. All right.
Oh,
it could be lighting. It could be the lighting. No, I will agree. I'm gonna side with Miller just for a second here, in that I would be remiss if I did not say that the 300-pound linemen are probably the best athletes on the pitch for either sport. Like, let's be honest here. If you can run
on the field,
yeah, dude. If you're 300 pounds and can run that fast, like, dude, you're amazing to me. I don't know. Linemen are. Yeah. I'm amazed by them. So anyway,
they run 5-second 40s and they're 300 pounds. I mean, they eat like 15,000 calories a day just to stay big.
Yeah,
which
that doesn't make you an athlete, though.
Right. That makes you part of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I mean, come on.
And it's kind of
really my point, but you guys are taking it in side direction. But
and what was it yesterday? Some guy from Team Paraguay scored a goal and he dropped trow and showed his junk to the whole crowd. You don't go to a family event to see that, right?
What channel are you watching, Derek?
He said he saw it on ESPN. Somebody.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I got another point to make.
Okay.
When you see people go to a football game, what do they wear to support their teams?
Gear,
hats, jerseys,
and weird.
Yeah, hats, jerseys.
Yeah, but when you go to a soccer game, people wear scarves.
First off, clearly you've not been watching enough games, because there are plenty of crazy people in costumes and whatnot. But no, the scarves are part of. It's like holding up a sign, man. It's got special stuff written on them, and each of those scarves.
So in an American football game, they hold up signs.
I feel like we need more foam fingers.
Sounds like something from Harry Potter.
This is true.
Wearing a scarf.
This is true. Stu, hold on. You're American Canadian. Where do you hang on this? Which side of the border?
Is there two different sides?
Canadians like soccer a little more.
I think this is one of the easiest questions. It's like a handshake versus like a high five into a railroad spike. Like, it's just, soccer is so painful to watch. Like, if my cat walked past me out at the ankles.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do it. I can't sit through a soccer game. It's like sitting through a 17-inning baseball game. It's like, can anything interesting happen? Oh my
on.
gosh!
If it was,
The
if it was my
pitchers
team
duo.
playing and it was
Ooh.
playoffs, I'd sit through a 17-inning baseball game.
Yeah, but that doesn't make the sport interesting. It means you're invested.
So
I can sit through any
there.
football team playing each other and at least enjoy it. I can't
All
watch
right.
Portugal and España with their sponsored jerseys from Xbox and Valvoline kicking the ball for 30 hours for a game that goes past 90 minutes and they're still running. The game's supposed to be over.
No, so all right, you're holding about being invested in it because I'm the opposite of you. I can watch any soccer game against any teams and do it. I have to be invested.
You probably like 3-year-old girl soccer.
I have coached 3-year-old girls soccer, so Bumblebee soccer drives me nuts. I'm more into tactics. But the thing that I want to chat about is my question is, so like for me, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan from Kansas City. I pretty much only watch KC games and then Tampa Bay since I'm here now. That's basically it, unless the Eagles are playing and I've got somebody going against them who's going to rack up fantasy points because the Eagles suck.
You're in a bad team.
You bite your tongue. You bite your tongue. They won a Super Bowl a few years ago.
They did. But my question is, so the big difference between football and football is, to me, is promotion and relegation. So how would you guys feel if the NFL added like 6 to 8 additional teams and then like your local town would be more likely to get a team? That's about soccer. It's like every small town has a team and they can root for it. So if there was investment on individual fan groups, but let's say there was 2 groups of 20 and the Eagles, Jaguars, Jets would go down and this next group of teams would come up. How would you guys feel about that? Because each game would matter just that much more. Because right now the Eagles are what, 2 in a billion? And no one cares.
4-9-1, and also let me say this: you desensitize people watching sports when you let them watch garbage sports, right? I'm not talking about the Eagles this year; they're terrible. I'll admit it. That's my team. But what I'm saying is you've got on TV all the time. You've got your Premier League, your Euro League, all this other crap, and you're watching like interleague baseball from the early '90s. Like it's garbage. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, why would you want to watch D3?
But I would argue that Cleveland versus Cincinnati is garbage.
It is.
Right, but you only get so many games per year, and people look forward to that. And in my opinion, I think when you have a supply and demand, you guys have so much supply that, I mean, you've got 800 teams in Europe, and there's 12 hours of soccer on every day.
Their own team.
Like, it just gets,
like
it's oversaturated. I think it desensitizes people to watching that sport. That's my opinion.
I don't like how you threw in like 20 different bribes into like a 2-minute soliloquy about this will actually make soccer interesting. Why don't we do this to football to make it worse?
Exactly, to make it worse. So I think because there is promotion and relegation, it makes, particularly relegation, it makes those teams at the bottom of the league work that much harder. So there's no throwing the last few games. It happens less in the NFL than like the NBA, but there's no trying to be terrible so you get that number 1 draft pick in the next season. So that's why I kind of like that every game matters, and there is huge financial issues if you drop down the league. We're talking tens of millions of dollars. So you can literally ruin a club by them dropping out of one of the top leagues. So
is that why they?
I don't think the Jaguars went into this year going, you know what? Let's try and lose every single game.
I think that's just the Jaguars, man. They just happen to lose. It's Florida, baby.
Big business also makes everything better, like Starbucks did to coffee. It's fantastic. It's like drinking Bud Light.
Oh, jeez. So, all right. So based on that, how much time we got here? Because I think we could talk about this forever. But my next big question for you guys was transfers. That's another big thing that I like. Again, with football, then American football is the transfer windows. And I'm gonna let Steve start with this as my only other soccer supporter here. I feel that the 2 unique windows make transfers in soccer that much more interesting than just the 6 weeks and the off season in the NFL, because you've got such a small window to get in there and do stuff. Steve, what do you think about transfers versus trade deadlines in the 2 sports?
It's interesting because the trade deadlines, like deadline day, is kind of fun, right? Because you get to kind of watch, who's going to do what.
Got to bow out for a minute.
Crazy stuff happens. But on the transfer side, man, like you can make your team better like that in the middle of the season right? After you've had a chance to kind of see where you're at for a few months. So it gives everybody hope that they can go out and do something. And then they pay these ungodly amounts of money for these players, which is fascinating, right? It's not just, I'm going to trade, this player for this player. It's, I'm going to give you my best player for $45 million. Like, to me, it's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate the whole we're going to give this guy for third round draft pick and 8th, 7th round. That's uninteresting to me at all. So I'm with you. I am just constantly checking the news, seeing rumors and who's going to go where for how much and how that's going to affect the team. So I like soccer transfers way more than kind of the free agency and up to deadline day. I'm with you. Deadline day is pretty sweet. Yeah. Derek, what do you got? Or Stu, go ahead.
I was just going to say the best transfer would be if we just transferred soccer and punted it back over the Atlantic. Just left it there. It's the best transfer I can think of.
Stop. When there's a World Cup of American football, we can talk. All right. Yeah. Until then, just stop.
Yeah. I like watching the America's Cup, but like Chris was saying, I mean, there's so many darn teams and there's so many, players and stuff. You can't keep up with it.
So
NFL, you keep up with it.
So you guys have soccer all over the world, and there's so many different, championships. There's the Champions League, the Europa League. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm just making stuff up now because it probably does exist and I don't even know it. But
Chris had to look that up.
That's not true. Shut your mouth. When you win the Super Bowl, you're world champions because nobody else plays football like we do because we're the best damn country there is.
I don't know if I agree with that.
World champions. World champions.
It's like winning the World Series in baseball.
Are you?
You're the best team in America.
And you're exactly.
There's don't you guys there's been teams in Canada, so right?
That's okay. You're the North America.
I don't even count those, and I'm Canadian.
Exactly. Oh my God. So I think we're out of time, but just real quick, some of everything. Soccer's better. Thank you guys for chiming in on this very, very important topic. And just to reiterate, Eagles suck. All right. See you guys next time.
See you guys. Later.
Kick rocks, nerd.